Yo, I'm back. Yes, right. Finally, the Dave has returned. Okay, that was lame. Welcome everybody to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, and you know what? Yeah, no, it's not Friday. I know. Sorry, guys, I wasn't here last night. I gotta make my money. You feel me? Had to work. But anyway, I'm here. Like I promised last week, I said I'd probably be either late or I would be one day behind. And I'm one day behind. But that doesn't stop me from saying it's WandaVision Day. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, guys, to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you like this video, again, hit that like button down below. Show us some love. If you like all of our content, you still haven't subscribed, come on. What's wrong with you? Come on. Subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Come on. Come on. It's great content here. Last week, Sam did her anime review on Spirited Away, and before that, we did another video on black films. And this week coming up, we got something else really cool planned for you guys. We go live every week, and I'm here every week talking about WandaVision. And in between that, again, we're talking about anime, we're talking about movies. We got what you need, we got what you want. Come on, guys. No reason not to subscribe. So, anyway, this episode of WandaVision this week, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Honestly, I'm going to say this, not necessarily my favorite episode, but one of my most fun watches. Rather, I really enjoyed. If you guys saw last week's episode, you know at the end of that episode, Evan Peters, if that's his name, I think his version of Quicksilver from the X-Men movies appeared in the show, which really set everybody on fire, set the internet ablaze, and made everybody lose their minds. Like, is this the X-Men introduction that we've been waiting for? We don't get an answer to that question this week. Obviously, right? Like, there's a lot more questions we need answers to. This episode does not really provide answers, but it does give us a big setup for what's to come in these final 3 episodes. I know 3 episodes have 3 weeks left of me talking about this, and then there's Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then there's Loki. So I'll probably never go away every week, guys. I will never leave. I'm here every week now. But so yeah, I really enjoyed that performance. This episode definitely has a lot of Quicksilver. If you guys missed that character, missed his performance from the X-Men movies, you get that and more, and a mysterious hit of his character. So backtracking, this episode, it I guess it's supposed to take place in the 80s, but it does this whole Malcolm in the Middle thing. So I'm thinking it's like early 2000s. Because in the 80s, they didn't have like Dance Dance Revolution to play at home, as far as I'm concerned. Like, that was like updated technology there. So they had that. It starts off with the kids. They're doing their Malcolm in the Middles, talk to the camera, give you the rundown of the episode type thing. It was really cool. It was a really neat nod. I like the title sequence that they had. It was pretty cool. Then we get into some Quicksilver antics. He's bonding with the twins and everything. And meanwhile, you see Wanda kind of like, okay, something's not right here. You're not Pietro, but you're Pietro, but you're not Pietro. Like, what's going on here? So she's really suspicious of him and trying to just figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, Vision, last week and the past couple of weeks, he's been getting real suspicious about what's going on. He's been like, Wanda, something's not right. Yeah, that's my British accent, guys. Get with it. So he's been like, something's not right in here. So I'm going to figure it out. So what he does, he stages to do like a neighborhood watch type of thing, which is pretty funny. One of the things that this is the Halloween episode. I forgot to mention that. This is the Halloween episode, the one that we have all been waiting for. We saw in the trailers and we were like, oh, that looks like the episode right there. And this was the Halloween episode. This is the one where they dress in their comic accurate costumes, which I thought was really neat. Everyone dressed up in them. Wanda dressed up in her comic book accurate attire. Vision dressed up in his. Quicksilver, Speed, Wiccan, which are the two twins. Billy and Tommy? Tilly? Really? Killy? Shilly? I don't know. I just want to riff right there. But the twins dress up in their comic book accurate clothes, and so do the main adult characters in the sitcom world. They dress up in theirs for Halloween. So it's pretty much them going out trick-or-treating. And Vision says, oh, well, I'm going to go do some neighborhood watching because it's Halloween, and the only thing separating toilet paper from this house is me. Yeah, and he did the neighborhood watch thing in like the second episode, so it's really funny to see him, pick that plot point back up. But is that really what he's doing? We'll come back to that later. Meanwhile, on the real world, right outside of the WandaVision TV show, we have Monica Rambeau, Darcy, and Jimmy Woo pretty much dealing with the fallout from the things that happened last week, with Wanda pretty much getting pissed off at the director dude, the head of SWORD, right? So they're pretty much telling him like, yo, you kind of messed this up, man. Like we could have had this under control, but you want to go crazy and start trying to kill her and pissed her off. So now we got to figure out what the heck's going on. Something's going on. So this is the second indication, and this is really starting at, I think it's going to be a big revelation around how the director of SWORD is a bad guy. Like, we kind of got hints of that last week, where it was like, yo, you evil, aren't you? Well, this time he really is going down that path of evil. He fired Rambeau, Jimmy Woo, and Darcy. He said, yo, get out. So they kind of got kicked off the case. But of course, heroes, come on, guys. Jimmy Woo and Monica Rambeau, they fight, disguise themselves, get back into SWORD, the little SWORD location they got there outside of the Hex. And Darcy is also with them, and they start to hack into computers, and they notice something really weird, that his name's Hayward, I think it's Hayward, I don't know. But the director of SWORD, he has a tracker inside of Vision. Not only that, but he has an accurate, he has a count of everyone that's in the town of Westview. He didn't share this information with anyone. Nobody else knew this. It was really weird. So they're like, oh, something's going on. Amidst all this, Monica gets her contact on the outside, on the inside, says that they can get her into the Hex. That's a plot point I forgot about. But she finally gets in touch with them, and she's going to meet them. Darcy stays behind to continue to get information off the computer. So we're seeing what's going on inside the Hex as well as outside the Hex. It's giving us answers and raising up more questions. So back inside the Hex, Wanda, again, she's very suspicious of Quicksilver. She's very suspicious of Pietro. She's like, you're not him. Like, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's not right. So she keeps asking him different questions, and he doesn't answer any of them. He's like, you're testing me, aren't you? Yeah, you're testing me. Come on. I'm your bro. I'm your brother. Come on. Come on. We grew up together. Come on. He gives a great performance here. It's really fun to see him, act. They have this really, there's this really funny sequence where he's going and causing all this mayhem around the town for Halloween. And every time a guy calls in, he's like, yeah, okay, what? There's a pumpkin smashing. What? Someone's taking all the candy. And as he's saying that, you see Quicksilver and the kids run around super speed, bashing stuff, spraying people with silly spray, taking all the candy. And they're just like, what? All this happening? Oh, man, we got to go figure this out. And Wanda's just like, really? Something's just not right. And so she finds out that Vision actually didn't even do the neighborhood watch, that he's out somewhere else. She doesn't know where he is. So then we see Vision going through the town, and he's just trying to figure everything out. What's going on here? What is this? Why are these people so weird? What's beyond this? What's beyond the town of Westview? What's going on? So as he gets closer and closer to that answer, again, in the real world, we're getting closer and closer to figuring out what the heck is actually going on with SWORD, and why are they being able to track Vision, and what's up with these people and all this other stuff. But it's really, at this point, it's really what happens inside of the Hex that's really important. Because, before I get into that, we have the return. I think, did we get a commercial last week? Did we get a commercial on episode 5? I'm not quite sure that we did. It's been a while. No, we did. We did get a commercial on episode 5 with the and I didn't talk about it. Yeah, I forgot to mention that commercial last time. It was the they spilled a drink and they had cleaned it. It was like a paper towel commercial, but the paper towel brand was called Lagos. And for those of you who are Marvel fans, you know that in Civil War, where Wanda accidentally killed a lot of people trying to save people. She again murdered people, was set off the Sokovia Accords. That happened in Lagos. So, and the paper towel commercial was Lagos for a mess that you need to clean up, something like that. When you make a mess that you need to clean up. Yeah, I'm getting to the Halloween commercial right now. So the Halloween this commercial here was wild. There's a shark. It's like a kid. There's a kid on this little island, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so hungry, I'm so cold." So then the shark comes out the water. Hey, I've been hungry and starved too. You know what helped me get by? Eating on Yo Magic. Yo Magic is the name. It's like a yogurt brand called Yo Magic. Really crazy. So he gives the Yo Magic yogurt to the kid. The kid's trying to open it up, can't open it up. All this time lapses around, and you see the kid like really starting to die. Like he's dying, and by the end of the commercial, like he's totally dead. So it's like Yo Magic, use it when you need it, something like that. And it's really crazy. It had so many implications. It was like one of the darkest commercials. I still think the Lagos one from last week was pretty damn dark, but this one, I think once we get some context on what exactly this is referring to, because there's a lot of different theories out there. It could be referring to the Hydra experiments that were ran on them and unlocking the potential inside of her. It could be a little hint that maybe she's been a mutant the entire time, has always had the magic. I know there's a theory out there like that. It can be in relation to Ultron. I've seen one theory about that. So there's a lot of different directions. It could be Mephisto, coming in, and that's how he manipulated Wanda to use her power, and he's feeding off of her power now. It can be a number of things. And I feel like once we finish the series, I feel like that's one of the things we'll have context on. If not, then it'll be fun to really kind of sit down and theorize and get the definitive answer of that, which I know they're probably going to give us the definitive answer anyway, because the series will be over. They'll be able to free to talk about all the behind the scenes stuff. So it's really cool to know what that one was actually about. So after that little commercial, we get back into the world, and Wanda's still suspicious of Pietro. She's still trying to figure things out with him. She's still, kind of just a little wary. At this point, the kids get their powers. Their powers come on full display. Billy gets his super speed. I might be getting the names wrong. I just know them as Wicked and Speed. Like I don't know their actual name. I forgot their names. That's Billy and Tommy or something. So Speed gets his speed and runs around. Does his whole speedster thing, and Wiccan gets his power too, but that happens a little later. So what's going on here? They're still with the Halloween antics. Wanda's sitting there, again, like I said, still talking to Pietro, trying to figure him out, trying to really get what's going on there. They have this really cool line in there where they go, where Wanda's like, "What happened to your accent?" And again, like I said, Pietro's not answering the question. So he goes, "Well, what happened to yours?" Boom, comeback season. Hey, you don't got no answer for that. I don't got no answer for you. So what's up? So they start talking about how the hex was formed, and it's really weird. I still have my conspiracies on this. I remember in the earlier episodes, I think it was said that the director of Sword had a guy on the inside already. So my theory, when Pietro was talking to her, like, "Hey, how'd you really do this? The kids pop up all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like, how did you come to make this world?" I'm thinking that it might be Hayward's guy on the inside or the director of Sword's guy on the inside. But I watched it again, and I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't seem like something a guy on the inside would do, in my point of view. So I'm thinking, well, what if it is like a Mephisto situation, or something along those lines? Because as much as I want this to be the real Evan Peters version of Quicksilver that we got in the Fox movies, because he was such a fun character, as much as I would love the multiverse thing to be happening, I know that's what a lot of people really want. As much as I want that, I really think that is something sinister going on with his character. And if he pops up again next week, I think I'll pretty much have it set in my head that he is a sinister character, and he's going to get his sinister reveal. I mean, again, next week's episode 7. There's only 9 episodes, so next week has to come with at least I'd say about 80% of the answers next week has to come with something. Something. We need some type of answers, right? Something more concrete than what we're getting right now, because we're starting to wrap up the series. Of course, there's rumors of a 10th episode, but I don't care if it's a 10th episode or an 11th episode. The 7th episode needs to be, 7 is the number of completion. We need complete answers on something, okay? Because this is getting a little excruciating. I'm all for the week to week the week-to-week drop, the week-to-week rollout. I mean, I grew up on that type of television where you had to wait every week to watch and figure out what's going on, before binge culture, if that's even a thing, hashtag binge culture. BrickWall said it first. But, I mean, this one is my only issue is with every episode, it rolls out 5 more questions and only answers like 1. And it's like, well, damn, what's going on? So I'm hoping next week we get to know more about Monica's Connect. We get to know more about what's going on in the world, like the world of Westview. We get to find out what happened to Darcy. And I'm about to get to what happened to Darcy too. I just hope we get some more answers because, I mean, for this episode to end on this cliffhanger, which again, I'll talk about in a second as well. I mean, come on. We got to get some answers. Let's go. Marvel, kick it up to high gear. Kick it up to high gear, I'm a patient guy, but I'm waiting for Falcon and the Winter Soldier as of this point. Like, I'm really waiting for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm like, the sooner we get some answers for this, the sooner I can start to focus my attention on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So when we get back into the series, into the Westview part, that's the part I was getting to right now. Vision, he starts to interact with the neighbor, the Agnes. He starts to talk with Agnes. So I'm split on this part, but I'm going to explain it first. I'm going to tell you why I'm split on it. So he goes up to Agnes. Agnes is in the car and pretty much sitting at the stop sign at the edge of Westview. So he's like, well, what's going on? She's kind of like speaking a little mumblish, gibberish, sitcom talk. So he touches her forehead, similar to what he did in one of the previous episodes. And he awakens her. So she gets awakened and she's like, oh my gosh, you're one of the Avengers. You're Vision. And he's like, what's an Avenger? Because remember, Vision doesn't remember anything about himself. He just knows that he's with Wanda. He's in Westview, and he has powers. Like, that's really all he knows. He doesn't know anything else. So, that was Herb. I think his name was Herb, Hank, Herb, one of those two. He had the interaction with that. Wanda had the interaction with that guy early in the episode. That was a pretty weird thing. But with Agnes, so she's like, oh man, she's like, well, am I dead? And he's like, no, why would you think that? This is the part that was in the trailer. Remember that part in the trailer? Am I dead? No, why would you think that? Because you're dead, something like that. So that happens. We get that part in the episode. Does that part lead to like any crazy revelations? No, not really. Agnes, from that point, she starts hysterically laughing. Vision puts her back into the Westview mindset is what I'm going to call it. She turns back around, heads towards the town. At this point, Vision's like, okay, I'm going beyond this barrier. So he starts to walk there, head there, and he gets out of the barrier. And when he gets out, he starts to decay. He starts to die again. His body starts to rip apart. And one interesting detail that I noticed is that he had strings on his back. So coming from his back, he had strings. So like he couldn't get out. It was really crazy. They were holding him back. So Darcy sees this and runs out and tries to help him. Guys, help him. You can't let him die like this. This isn't good. They handcuff her to a car. Why is this important? You'll find out shortly. So while Vision is sitting there pretty much dying, what happens is that Wanda, her son, Wiccan, he hears his dad, he hears Vision screaming, crying for pain and everything, goes to find Wanda, and Wanda tells him to focus. Use the Force, find your father. So does that, and of course, she's able to locate him where he's at. She stops the town and starts to expand the hex barrier. She expands the hex barrier. Now, before I get more into this, I do want to backtrack and say what my theory about Agnes is. So, Agnes, I'm very split right now. I know there are a lot of fans of WandaVision who are saying Agnes is clearly Agatha Hawkins from the comic strip, where she was pretty much evil or the mentor or something like that. Something's not right. This episode gives a counter theory and says, no, she's a regular person. She's just a little bit more important. And we got Catherine Hahn, the player. We wanted to give her a sizable role. I am in the middle of those two theories because I'm like, well, she could be bad, but she could just be caught up in all this for some reason. I mean, last week we had enough last week to give us that she was Agatha, that something was wrong, especially when the dog died. Like, she killed that dog. Come on, guys, she killed that dog. That dog didn't just die. She killed the dog. She had to kill the dog. So now this week it's like, okay, this is something completely different. Like, what is going on? So I hope, again, next week, this is one of the things I hope we start to get a definitive answer on, because we are coming to the wrap up of the series. And if the episodes are not going to get longer, they need to get into the answers because we are running out of episodes. This one was only 30 minutes long, ends on an amazing cliffhanger, but the next 3 episodes need to come in at 47 minutes, 55 minutes, an hour long. They need to extend these episodes or give us more answers, something, because this is now getting a little too much, because they keep opening all these different boxes. That's what I don't like about it. They open all these different boxes and just say, oh yeah, well, just put that box in the corner, we'll get it later. Put that box in the corner, we'll get it later. Put that box in the corner, we'll get it later. Like, yo, we gotta go get these boxes and see what's inside of them. So that's my only gripe with this show at this point. Even The Mandalorian gave us more answers on a week-to-week basis than this show does here. So that's my real only criticism of this show. Going back to when she expanded the barrier, Wanda, she extends the barrier. All the SWORD agents head for the hills. A lot of them get caught inside of the expansion. One of the people who gets caught, unfortunately, is Darcy. So now Darcy is now inside of the Hex as a character. It seems like this world is going to be a more modern time. Use Carlisle's carnival type thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what time period the next episode is, but this needs to get some answers. Monica and Jimmy, of course, they get away. The director of SWORD gets away. And at the end of the episode, we just see Wanda. She's done rewriting things. And Vision is safe. So we're all good. One thing with the neighbor, let's address that. I'm looking at the comments now, guys. Wanda's hold is strong, but it has weak points. Yeah. Her every time when she starts to get emotional or overwhelmed with something, like we saw a couple weeks ago when she saw dead Vision. This time when she gets overwhelmed, she sees dead Pietro. So and she doesn't remember how she created the Hex either. Like, she doesn't remember exactly how it happens, or so she claims. So you can tell her powers are unstable, but something is, I think it's pretty much confirmed, especially with that commercial, something is controlling her. Something wants something from Wanda. Whatever it is, whoever it is, we don't know. But something is out there trying to control Wanda. It's very, I hope we get answers on that. That's all I can really say. Remember what her brother said? You came a long way from creating scary dreams and doing the finger things. Yes. That was the part where he was talking about how she did that. How it was amazing that she created the world. He knew a lot more about what was going on inside Westview than you would imagine that he would, though. because he knew that there were no kids before, and now all of a sudden there are kids in there now. He knew how people looked with the haircuts and everything prior to it being in this setting for this episode. He knew a lot, which it does lend a lot of credits and a lot of things, a lot of little things that he says, like demon spawn when he refers to kids, which again, for you comic book people, I've read the theories, I've seen the theories, I've read the comics, I've seen the comics, I've seen the synopsises, or synopsi, one of those. And yes, Wanda's kids are essentially, spoiler alert for anybody who doesn't read the comics, but Wanda's kids are essentially illusions. And when she finds out that they are illusions, she goes crazy. Her kids are illusions created from pieces of Mephisto's soul, which would make them demon spawn. And the fact that Pietro knows that knows all that he knows about the hex and everything like that, it does lend credence to that theory. But I'm still going to hold off on believing that Pietro is Mephisto in disguise and there was some type of elaborate ritual that brought Mephisto there in the guise of Quicksilver, and it's going to be some type of really tragic thing. I'm holding off on that until next week. After next week, I'm accepting any and all theories because, come on, you got to give us something. Again, my gripe is that you have to give us something more now, Marvel. We are at we're close to the finish line. We're in the final stretch. Whether it be 9 or 10 episodes, I'm really wanting to see what's going on more than I imagined I would. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, this episode was good. Like I said, the most fun part for me was seeing Evan Peters as Quicksilver. That was the most fun part for me. His performance was great. His lines were great. His dialogue was great, and the fact that he had so much mystery surrounding his character, which you would think is, okay, it's just Quicksilver from the X-Men series. No, it's probably not, but it probably is. Who knows, right? The fact that he has so much of that around his character is really amazing. I like how they're able to do that. Once again, Paul Bettany as Vision has some of the best lines, some of the best dialogue, some of the best acting in the episode. Elizabeth Olsen has some of the best acting in the episode and everything, so I really enjoyed their performances. I like the homage to Malcolm in the Middle, although I am still confused because I thought it was the 80s era, but it was so obviously Malcolm in the Middle. So I do like the tribute to the show. I didn't really watch a lot of Malcolm in the Middle, but I have seen the show before, so that, gave it away to me that, okay, this is a Malcolm in the Middle homage. So it was really nice. Really looking forward to what they do next week and in the weeks coming, how they're going to wrap this up, how they're going to give us the answers. Yeah, so that's really all I have to say about this episode here. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, if you like this video, if you enjoy what you just saw, if you enjoy my reaction and my recap, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want some more of that great BrickWall content, make sure you subscribe because we are dropping videos literally every week. And in my case, twice a week because shows are coming back and I will be here as often as I can to talk about these shows that are dropping. I know The Flash is coming back soon. Superman and Lois is about to premiere. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is coming. The Snyder Cut, that's not a series, but it's a movie. It's coming. So, I mean, it's a lot of new series coming out. If you guys want me to give a review of any of those, if you guys want me to do weeklies on any of those series, go ahead, hit us in the comments down below. Follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Links are in the comment section down below. Well, links are in the description down below. And until then, definitely remember, guys, subscribe. Stay safe. Happy Valentine's Day weekend to everybody. And until next time, peace.